All right, as promised, here we go. I have now completed the game. Here is my full review of Sonic Frontiers alongside these two fellows here.
I was gonna say your. I'm like our. Okay, it's a communist gaming community. It's our review. So, yes, we have a new guest. I think I actually got on with that one.
That was not what I was expecting anybody to say.
Anyway, welcome to our full final thoughts review, whatever you want to call it, of Sonic Frontiers. And I just want to start off with one thing. It's fucking amazing. Anyway.
I hate this game. Don't buy it. End of review. Buy
it. Yeah, 0 out of 10. Don't buy it. Sonic 06 was better.
You can't even joke like that.
Sonic Boom was the best Sonic game. Okay.
Oh, yes. Yes, of course. But anyway, let's get serious. So we beat it at different times. Patrick beat it before us. And then Frank and I beat it like around the same time. I don't remember.
Like it was literally within a couple seconds of each other. We beat the final boss.
And I beat it like 3:30 in the morning yesterday or this morning.
Yeah, I was asleep.
We were delirious one night trying to play it. It was like, I don't want to stop playing it. It's so good.
Oh man. But what we didn't know is that there's a secret final boss on hard mode, so I went back in and fought that final boss.
And I warned him.
We'll get to that later. So I guess the first thing we should probably talk about is the actual storyline. Now I can go more into it.
Yeah. Spoilers.
Yeah, exactly. So this game takes place on the Starfall Islands, which are islands.
Which actually the name for that comes into play because there are nights where stars fall.
The game starts with just like Forces, starts with Eggman doing something. That's not the first Forces comparison I'm gonna make, and we'll get there. But
oh no.
But he uploads this like AI into a construct thing, and then gets absorbed into cyberspace. Sonic, Tails, and Amy are going after the Chaos Emeralds, and they all get sucked into cyberspace as well. Sonic is able to break out, and is like, all right, where are my homies? I gotta save them. So that's your setup. I don't want to go too much into the story, really, because I don't want to spoil it, because the game's still new. It only came out like 2 days ago.
Yeah, and it's rather interesting to just not know know as little as possible going in, and you'll really enjoy what they have to present you, because there is a lot of fan service in terms of referencing older games and just saying things like, you've seen the internet meme where the girl says, "What's your end goal?" Signpost, maybe a big old ring. It's like, that's brilliant. I laughed at that one.
There are like flashback scenes from older games. Like you see scenes from Sonic Adventure 1, Sonic 3, and Knuckles.
It's like, they didn't even bother recreating it. They literally were just like, this is what we looked like back then.
It did some good world building too. It kind of answered a question that I've had for a long time. I'm not going to say what it is, but
yeah, they do. They explain a lot more about the lore than any other game beforehand.
Mm-hmm.
For sure.
Yeah, it's great because I hated that. I thought like Colors and Generations were gonna be like a one-off thing where it's like, okay, it'll be kind of a goofy sort of thing, and then we'll go back to seriousness. But no, we got things like Lost World, and then Boom, and then Forces, which was trying to take itself seriously, but it ended up just falling flat on its face due to being too serious while being jokey at the same time.
There's only one thing about the story I want to say.
What?
Big is on the Starfall Islands, but Shadow isn't. All I'm saying.
Hey,
but we might say Froggy! Froggy? Where are you?
Big's a lot more useful in this game than he ever was before.
Big
Other
actually
than
breaks the
Sonic
game.
Heroes, oh my god, you can break the game because it's so easy to get the purple coins. All you need, or the froggy coins, as we started to call them. You just need to wait for a Starfall night, get a bunch of those things, and just keep mashing the up on the D-pad or down on the D-pad, and it will stop the things for you. I was like, damn.
I got a ton
It's
just by letting the thing start and stop on its own.
Oh,
yeah,
jeez.
me too. I would get at least a couple hundred if so. It's
around
fun.
400 for most of the game.
Oh my god.
I wasn't even trying
And
to
the fish-
collect it. I had 400.
Yeah, they're so easy to damn get. And honestly, the fishing for me is pretty relaxing because like the environment itself is very detailed, even though and it still gives off that cyberspace feeling with like the glitching out like graphics every now and then. But the fish themselves look really high detailed, like way too detailed. They look like they're realistically like just pulled out from another game or an asset flip.
Okay, but missed opportunity. You cannot fish for Froggy, and that upsets me.
I know DLC guys, DLC.
Yeah.
Froggy's Big Adventure.
I was sitting there wondering about that.
Yeah, I've never seen Froggy.
Wait, Frankie, Froggy's Big Adventure DLC.
It's a sequel. It's a direct sequel to Frogger on the PS1.
Frogger sequel.
Oh no, Froggies, not Frogger. Froggy. Completely different series, completely different characters. Froggy is much better than Frogger. We need to accept it.
More about the story, real quick. Getting off topic. I do like both the characters' characterization in this game. Yes. I do like how Sonic is much more mature in this game than he has been for the past years.
Yeah, and there's a lot of people complaining that his voice is too deep. I think it works fine for this narrative because imagine having a cocky style voice for Sonic in this. People would still bitch regardless. So I'd rather take this.
You know, his characterization I really like is Tails's. I like how Tails is growing up in this game.
Yeah.
There was a moment with Tails. It was that conversation he had with Sonic where he complained about how he chickened out against Infinite and he didn't trust himself, and then he turned around and said, yeah, but what about Station Square and what you did when you helped me with the Deadly Six and stuff? And then he said, okay, well, I'm inconsistent. Nice little jab at how the writing from the previous games haven't been consistent with everybody's characterization, but then they took it and did something with it. Like they Tails is still growing into his own, so his decision making and stuff is all over the place. Really, really good character writing in this game, just everywhere.
And a good way to write in a canonical reason as to why he was written the way he was back and forth in terms of usefulness and confidence.
Yeah, because it makes sense because he's the youngest character of the crew. So
yeah, I mean you don't count Cream, but
yeah.
You'll find references to the Black Arms in this game, Chaos, the Ark.
Crazy. Like how this all ties in together into one cohesive timeline is so weird.
They even name drop Babylon Falls. That one caught
me. Yeah. He's like,
I didn't think Sonic Riders was canon, but here we are.
No.
Yeah. The Black Arms? No. The Babylonians?
No.
Yeah, right.
Did you get that?
And I love the egg logs. It gives you a lot more insight on what Eggman's thinking during all this, because most of the time in Sonic games, you don't really get to know what Eggman thinks of any situation, rather than, all right, send out more forces to fight this, or goddamn hedgehog, you know?
I really liked his characterization too. I thought Eggman was great in this game.
He sounded way less like gruff and like cartoonish. I wouldn't say he's Sonic 06 levels of serious, but he sounds just like a normal, guy. He doesn't sound like some kind of cartoonish villain. He doesn't sound like he's trying to be too realistic.
Yeah, the voice director really understood the tone of this game and made sure everybody wasn't too energetic, I guess is the word I want to use.
Yeah, because this, in terms of tone, this is a huge contrast from Forces.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, which is funny because that game was trying to be serious too.
We don't talk about the story in that game. That game was Jesus Christ.
No. I only played it for 30 minutes, so it was garbage. But
well, that's how long it takes to
like-
beat Forces.
oh my god.
Speaking
Yeah.
of that comparison, let's talk about the gameplay now. This game to me feels like an apology for Forces in a lot of ways.
Oh god, yeah. It took 5 years to make, so they better pay off.
So I mentioned this in our first impressions video, but this isn't a straight level to level Sonic game like most of the Sonic games are. It's not even
Correct.
like Sonic. It's not even like Sonic Adventure where there's like a hub world leading to levels. No, it's
And you have to go in a certain order. In this, no.
no, it's completely open.
Mm-hmm.
And there, admittedly, some of the activities do get repetitive after a while.
Like there's too many of the same kind.
Like how many times can I hit the same switch, the same light puzzle? How many times do I have to reflect a laser ball?
They were so quick and done with, like in like seconds, that it didn't bother me too much.
Nah, me either. It's
the
just
main goal of each island is to collect the Chaos Emeralds.
yeah.
Yeah, so the way you collect the Chaos Emeralds, you have to find these things called Vault Keys. And you need a certain number to unlock each emerald. The easiest way to get the Vault Keys is through cyberspace, which are more traditional Sonic levels. But
they don't. Sorry, go ahead.
They have the same 4 themes reused over and over: Green Hill, Chemical Plant, Sky Sanctuary, and a city.
Mm. And they don't quite feel like Unleashed stages or Adventure stages. It feels like a blend of both. Because when they recreated some of the stages for Adventure 2, like Metal Harbor, Green Forest, Sky Rail. Am I missing any?
There's a Windmill Isle from Unleashed.
I don't remember that at all, to be honest with you. But and it works. Like the physics work well with how they recreated the levels. I mean, they obviously had to tweak a few things because some of the design in Adventure 2 wasn't very smart sometimes. But what are you gonna do? But it's so fucking cool when they do that, though.
In terms of
that's a good way to do nostalgia, I think.
Go ahead, Patrick.
I just wish that they maybe put a little bit more effort into it to at least recreate the background of some of those stages that were copy and pasted. I don't know if that was much.
I kind of agree with him because it does get to a point where it's like, all right, how many times did I run through Green Hill? How many times did I run through?
If it's like a generic original stage that they made just for the game, I get it. But if I'm playing like Metal Harbor, wouldn't it be kind of cool to be running through Prison Island again?
Yeah, it would be. It has the same aesthetics and all that.
Yeah.
Even
like imagine what a modern Metal Harbor would look like, graphically speaking.
Oh yeah.
The way these levels are presented is they're from Sonic's memories. Why does he only remember 4 backgrounds?
Yeah, that's very strange. I feel like that was probably a lazy way to get around not having to do too much development time and recreating literally every theme for every one of those levels. Because if they did, it probably would have taken another like 6 months or so to do. I'm no game developer, but this game looks like it took like a lot of manpower to make.
I mean,
not as much as like Breath of the Wild, but like damn.
So going back to that, a lot of people try to compare this to Breath of the Wild. If I were to compare it to a Nintendo game, I'd probably compare it more to say Mario Odyssey, in my opinion.
Yeah, it's an open world. Like Mario was like a very open level game, and these level, and you have levels in this game, like 5 islands, and they're all open areas, but there still are certain restrictions. It's not like Breath of the Wild where you could literally go everywhere, like all the way up to the top of Death Mountain. It's like, what the
Yeah.
fuck?
It's probably inspired a little bit off of both because it has the generic kind of like realistic landscape, but then it has the traditional Sonic style level puzzles in it. So I mean, the inspiration is obvious, but
Mm.
In terms
It's
of,
just a weird.
he controls a lot like, for the most part, Boost Sonic.
Yeah, but it's
He,
like his maneuverability feels like Sonic Adventure.
a little bit.
Yes,
You
for
do
me
feel like
anyway.
you do feel like you have more control over him than you did in Unleashed.
Oh
yeah,
God, yeah.
Or something
And
Yeah.
generation, even generations and colors, man.
yeah, that
Like
was
the double jump in colors and forces was pretty bad. Let's just be real here. Even
Yeah.
in the remaster for colors, it was still bad. But in this, the double jump is so reliable. It's insane
yeah, that
how
was
much better it is.
yeah. And my biggest concern with this, because I don't know how you guys agree with me on this, but Unleashed Colors, Generation and Forces, if Sonic wasn't boosting, he really was insanely slippery.
He is very sluggish. If you're sluggish, slippery when you're not boosting, that game's
Yeah, but
made with the boost.
and I was afraid that he was going to control like this in this game because I knew that the boost wasn't going to be like the primary source of movement. But no, they fine-tuned his controls for the first time since like this is probably the best Sonic has controlled since SA2.
Easily.
Exactly. That's why I was saying to Frankie too. Like this is like this feels like a proper evolution of the adventure franchise or gameplay style. Like
Yeah.
because Sonic Heroes should have been a proper evolution, but it felt like it took steps back and they fucked up the controls
yeah.
and just the level design was not as good. Memorable, yes, but not as good. And then Shadow felt like they fine tuned it. I get that formula a little bit, but then they just tried to do it with 06. We all know what happened. Only 1 year or so of development, and whoo, they just decided, fuck it, we're not going to try it again. So this time they're like, well, maybe we should try to mix it with something, and it worked for the most part. There still are some weird like hit detection issues and camera issues. Like some areas are you're meant to be locked into 2D mode or whatever, and sometimes you approach it a certain way, you can go in 3D directions and it doesn't feel right.
Yeah, no, I've had that camera issue myself.
What?
I had that camera issue a few times as well. It's a little frustrating. Though, and
Yeah, but it's
the pop in, it can be a little bit on the frustrating side.
I don't know.
it can be pretty bad.
I thought that was intentional because
I mean,
there were like load-in animations for platforms and stuff. It almost felt like it was intentional.
perhaps.
Or they did
Maybe.
something because they knew they couldn't get rid of the pop-up, so they did something to make it look intentional. I don't know, but
Like an illusion more so. Like there's games
Yeah.
that have done that with pop in. I mean, look at Spyro, the Spyro trilogy. They had LOD. You'd see things in the background, but they were lower detailed until you got closer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a good theory because the game is very cyberspace though.
Exactly.
So
they could pass off the pop-in problem as it's just being poofed in as you get near it. So
Yeah, and probably in terms of an actual technical reason, it's probably because they had to also make this game for Switch, so they probably had to do some compromises.
yeah.
It just in general for the entire game that couldn't be helped even with the PS5's power, which is sad. So in a few years when we see another Sonic game that's only for the current gen consoles, then we'll see what they do with this formula. I hope they don't abandon it because they have something going here. And they haven't had something going like this since fucking Unleashed. That was 14 years ago.
yeah, it's crazy how time flies, huh?
Yeah, I know. It feels like yesterday, my dude.
But if we're talking about more of the gameplay, a big thing about this game too is the combat system. It's a pretty involved combat system for a Sonic game.
Yeah, you can either have it on manual mode where you put in your own commands, or you can put it on automatic. I ended up using automatic because it, like, you still have some control of some of your moves, but for the most part, like, if you're like doing some combos and Sonic has to do like a fancy like animation and do a strong like kick attack or I don't know, whatever. That's automatic, but things like where you have to attack, then hold one button down to do a spin attack, and it's like, you know what I'm talking about. You guys know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
And then same with the X button or A button for Xbox users. It's like that. It's pretty fun. It's pretty fun, actually, the combat.
I think the only problem I have with it isn't necessarily combat, but it's the fact how the enemies don't really jive with it because a lot of them just smack you away after a couple of hits.
Yeah, that's
And
true.
it's like, because you
In
can get
World
some
3, that was
real-
a big problem.
Yeah, you can get some real crazy strings going. Because on the enemies that I could freely wail on, I was able to get up to like 300 hits, no problem. But
Yeah, the
Yeah.
thing with those enemies is you gotta if you can time your dodge to get behind them as they block you, and I don't think it disrupts your combo.
no, it doesn't. There's a cooldown meter for the combo to end.
Yeah. And a good thing to do too, I notice, is do the quick side loop, and you'll screw them over every time.
Oh yeah.
You
Quick
flip them up
side
in the air, and then you can like attack them.
Yeah, that's a big feature of the game. Is this new ability called the side loop, where he like can make circles and make weird things happen.
Yeah, and if you make a figure 8, you get yourself infinite boost.
Yeah.
which I discovered completely on accident.
Me too. Well, I just was like, Sonic CD. Maybe there's a Sonic CD reference if I do it, and I did, and I was like, oh shit. I felt really really, really good about that. I was about to say outside. Don't worry, don't question me.
That's an inside joke.
Oh, damn!
But
I see what you did there.
something that I was not expecting in this game before the trailer revealed it. Supersonic is actually a very big component of this game.
Yeah. You fight.
Normally he's a hidden feature / save for the final boss. No, he's a key component of this game.
Yeah, because you have to run around every island and find all the Chaos Emeralds. Some are tied to the story, some you can just find on your own. But in order to get those, you need to go into cyberspace and get keys. So there you go. There's a reason to go into the levels. You don't need to go into every level to get every key, but it helps a lot. Or you could just buy them from fucking Big. Who knows?
And I will say the 4 Titan bosses are probably my favorite part of the whole game.
Yeah, I had a bit of an issue with the second one, but I already talked about that in my last video.
The second one is definitely the most chaotic, but you can cheese by parrying the missiles.
I thought that was the coolest one, in my opinion. I love the music.
It was.
I love Jason.
So it's a little diffy, but it was pretty damn cool.
Can we talk about the songs for the boss fights? Each boss has their own unique song, and they are hardcore.
Dude, they
I love them.
Really hype you up. Like,
man.
Yeah.
Because the first time I got to the Giganto, which was the first Titan, and they have him like floating down with his arms crossed, and you hear the music start up. It's just like, oh man, we're on that stuff this time around, aren't we?
I have never felt so powerful as Supersonic in a game.
This is by far the best representation of Supersonic in a Sonic game.
Oh,
He's
easily.
beats the piss out of enemies.
I was fighting the night one, and he was just socking him and made him look like a punk.
Probably the part that I'm always gonna forget, remember when playing through this game for the first time was because my brother was watching me play the entire game, and he got really into watching me do the boss fights. When I got to the Wyvern part where he grabbed him by the tail and threw him into the cliffside.
Oh, that was so cool.
David was standing next to me, like screaming in excitement. He was so hyped for more.
My favorite part was when he basically meta Frieza
Oh yeah, he picked up his sword and slashed him with it.
He freezed him. It was great.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love that moment. I'm like, is he gonna? Oh, he is.
I'm not gonna tell you guys what it is, but the actual final boss was a nightmare.
It was incredibly difficult, possibly the hardest, if not the hardest, depending on what you say or think, boss in the entire Sonic franchise.
I don't know if I'd go that far.
No, I think the entirety of the Dark Gaia fight in the HD version of Unleashed is harder. But
I know.
Dark Gaia is Unleashed is the hardest Sonic game, so let's just call it.
Yes.
Yeah.
But this was a difficulty spike in what was a pretty mellow game in terms.
And the entire time, I was thinking, this is just the final boss from Nier Automata.
That's what I said to myself. I'm like, oh my
I'm not
God.
the only one that thought that.
Yeah, and Frankie is here as a bitch and won't play it, and I've been bitching at him.
I haven't played Nier Automata.
Have you? Do you like
You need
Platinum
to.
games?
Yeah, I played.
Okay,
Bayonetta
then play it.
Banquet. Oh, all right. Well, that's a different topic for a different day. But I will also say, speaking of going back to the songs, I actually like the soundtrack. Like,
yes,
the
it's very nice.
somber music around the island was okay. The cyberspace songs were just throwaway to me, but the boss music was where it was at. The boss music was so good.
The boss fights in general are the highlights of this sport.
Well, you're not flowing. What? You're not flowing through the wind.
Shut up.
Flowing through time, flowing through space. I'm flowing through the wind.
My favorite soundtracks are still the adventure games and Unleashed.
3 and Knuckles for me, but this is pretty good stuff too.
Yeah, no, 3 and Knuckles is great.
Yeah.
Of course.
But graphically, this is definitely the best Sonic. Bar none.
Oh, by far it is. Like the amount of detail in like some of the areas, it's like fuck.
Even for me, because these two played on next gen stuff. I played it on the PS4. It caps at 30. There wasn't any frame dips, believe it or not. Like performance-wise, it was actually really good for it being designed with the next gen consoles in mind. But it just caps at 30, and I think the graphics were a little bit more held back. But
Resolution was lower.
Yeah. Thank you. The resolution was lower, but
well, it's not Cyberpunk, so there is that.
Yes.
Oh my God.
Hey, everything is stuck in just loading phase.
That's right.
How are the loading times on the last gen consoles? Like when you when you get into training sessions, how long does it take? Do you think?
Like 3 seconds.
Oh yeah.
Okay, so it's about the same.
Yeah, literally
just time.
Yeah, the resolution and the frame rate being capped at 30. I think are the only differences. Like performance, it runs great. Loading times are pretty short for a late end PS4 game. So
yeah, I know. Like when you like fast travel around the map, like it's instantaneous.
Yeah, on the PS4, it's like maybe 3 seconds of a black loading.
Do you have a base PS4 or PS4 Pro?
No, it's the base PS4.
Oh shit!
Oh wow!
Yeah,
that's even more impressive.
Yeah, so if you're someone like me who can't find the PS5 to save his life, don't worry. The PS4 version runs perfectly fine.
And there are a lot of people like you.
Yes, I can't speak for the Switch version.
Go ahead, go get a PS4 Pro or something.
Yeah,
no, at this point, just find a PS. Just wait for a PS5.
Yeah,
there's no reason.
Well, I mean, if you can find one cheaper than a base PS4, fine.
Yeah, but I was literally running this on ancient hardware at this point, and it ran perfectly fine.
Yeah.
And so.
Yeah, exactly. And I don't know how the Switch version is. I hear it's pretty okay.
I don't know.
I'm afraid to know though.
I'm not about to find out either.
Nope, I'm not gonna buy it. Sorry. I got the physical copy, but it didn't. It's still not in the mail yet. It was supposed to be here on day 1, but I got like refunded a little bit for the late friggin' shipping. So good thing I bought it digitally too. Otherwise, I still wouldn't have played it yet.
Going back to fan service, if you sign up for that newsletter, you get the soap shoes from SA2, and those are just, oh man,
Yeah,
It was
I
so
was zipping
cool. My
around most of the
nostalgia.
day yesterday with those on.
Yeah, I mean, Sonic Adventure 2 was the first Sonic game I ever completed, so wearing
It makes
those was just, whoo.
it makes sense they put those in there because they remade Sonic Adventure 2 levels.
That's true.
Yeah.
I will say though, it was kind of jarring seeing those shoes on a more high quality model of Sonic.
Yeah.
Weird, right?
I'm so used to low poly Sonic wearing those shoes.
We used to Dreamcast Sonic wearing that shit.
Uh-huh.
But there's gonna be more costumes coming out in the future. So that's gonna be
I
interesting.
know we got that Monster Hunter DLC pack coming out.
What
Wait,
else
what?
is in it besides the costume?
That's all I know about. I don't know what else is in there.
That'd be cool if they pulled a Mario Odyssey and gave us like his old SA2 model.
Oh, that'd be cool.
Oh shit, yeah.
You know what I want them to patch in though? Maybe like a boss rush mode, because I would love to go fight those.
Literally, my brother was saying those boss fights are deserving of what happened in Metroid Dread, where they gave us a boss rush as DLC later on. And I was like,
Honestly,
I would kill for a boss rush in this game.
one other thing, I don't know if it's possible yet. I haven't looked. Can you play a Supersonic in the regular world, or is
No.
it just
No. He stuck to the boss fights. But honestly,
Okay.
that's enough.
Fine by me, man. Sonic is so fun to control in the overworld. I don't even need Supersonic. Like the amount of speed that he gains in that game by level 99 is like on par with Unleashed speed and Supersonic in
that's
colors or
something
generations.
I want to go back to. Big's fishing mini game. If you grind that, you will break the game in half.
Yeah.
Yep.
no
People who don't like
limitation.
fishing will have to suck it up.
Because I was at level 30 something on speed and rings when I got to the fourth island. I went to Big's fishing, fish for a little while. I jumped up to 99. It took me like 20 minutes to level up.
Yeah, there's
But-
no limitations on any of his stuff.
And they cost next to nothing. It's not expensive.
Yeah.
And you can get egg memos as well, which give more insight into what Eggman thinks and is doing, which is nice. I think I already mentioned that, but I thought I'd mention it again, so check that shit out.
So yeah,
And it shows you more relation between this new character.
If you want to break the game, go fish.
Yeah. Sadly, you do find frogs, but it's not froggy.
And though I will say, the game, even on hard mode, is not that difficult. It's really not that hard.
Can confirm.
Can confirm. Yeah.
Did you two play it only on normal the entire time?
Yep.
Yeah.
I played the game on hard mode the entire time, and I was level 30 or level 13 or something most of the game, and I had no problems.
I switched to a hard mode to fight the true final boss, but the Titan, I obliterated.
Oh yeah.
And you don't get anything for beating the final boss. It's only there to explain the main villain.
Yeah, it's true. You don't even get a trophy or an achievement for it. It's just
No.
there.
It's weird. It's a very weird final boss.
The dialogue is what was confusing me. I had to go back and watch a YouTube video of somebody playing it just so I could understand what the heck it was saying.
Yeah.
Oh, I went into the menus and I just turned down like certain parts of the audio and I was able to hear it clearly.
Like, I don't want to ruin it because the game is still new. Maybe we'll come back later to a full spoiler talk. I don't know.
I don't know. Let people be surprised.
But I will say, because this is definitely Mania is kind of its own thing. I'm not counting that because that wasn't a Sonic Team game.
Right.
This is the best Sonic game we've had since Generations.
Yes.
It took 11 years, but we finally got it, baby.
Because let's just call a spade here. Forces was nothing to write home about.
Nope.
I beat it in 5 hours. The day it came out.
This took me 20.
This took me
So-
30.
Well,
But I
to
fucked
beat
around
it,
a lot more.
Yeah, just to beat it or 100% it.
I 100%.
100%.
I
100%.
20.
I can't remember what my finishing time was, but it felt longer than it ended up being.
Well, Alex, you did a lot more like fishing inside and running around than I did.
Yeah, I'm a rarity that didn't mind the fishing stuff with Big and Sonic Adventure.
Because
So when I got to fishing nets,
Oh.
I was like, nice.
it was not even hard though. It's just
No,
like a
it's
cute
not.
beat.
It's very relaxing.
One thing I would like to say though is that when you catch a fish, it does play the reel-in, a little jingle of the reel-in song from SA1.
Oh my
I love
god!
that.
I appreciated that.
Oh my god! I didn't even think about that.
Seriously,
You didn't
catch
notice that after fishing? You didn't notice that after fishing hundreds of times?
No, I just never.
Yeah,
it never clicked in my brain.
It's a little jingle of his reel-in song.
Uh,
Oh my god! I'm never gonna unhear that now.
Go fishing again, and then you'll be like, "Oh my god!"
I love Big's voice though. He sounds so dumb.
So dumb and so wholesome.
He's just minding his own business. Let him be.
They don't even explain if he leaves the cyber world. He's just there.
I come and choose as I please. I come and leave as I please.
If there's something I do want from this game, I want another island DLC where you play as Shadow.
Yes. Yes. That'd be badass.
I think saving Shadow for a game like this would be great for a sequel.
Because Shadow hasn't really been Shadow
Round.
needs to come back.
Mm-hmm.
Because I mean, he was in Forces, but
This kind of gameplay and this kind of combat engine, they could really show off with Shadow.
yeah, because you could unlock Chaos Spear, Chaos Blast, have all.
Oh yeah.
Instead of like a Psyloop, give him a Chaos Control power. Something.
Oh,
You can shoot beams and energy balls or something.
And then we can give him guns and motorcycles, and black arms.
Fuck yeah, dude. If he does
Shadow
not,
rifle,
if
baby.
the game
You know
does
what-
not start off
you know
with
what's
him riding a
bad, though?
motorcycle, wait, if he does not come into the next game to meet Sonic riding on a motorcycle, I'm going to be very disappointed.
You know what's sad though is that this open world concept would actually fit the Shadow the Hedgehog game better than Shadow the Hedgehog.
Oh boy, you have no idea how true that is.
Because
Yeah.
like you can be like, oh, Sonic's over here, I gotta go help him out. Or this side of the map, I'm gonna go help Black Doom. You don't have to fucking force yourself to do each path on each level.
Mm-hmm.
Don't bring up what could have been, because that makes us sad.
Shadow
Speaking
Frontier.
of
Shadow
Speaking of
Frontier.
that, why is that game $90 complete in box on GameCube?
We're not talking about that.
Who would
Okay.
pay that much money for that crap?
Not me.
But I actually really enjoyed myself with this game. A lot more than I thought I was going to.
Yeah.
From a gameplay perspective, I found it to be a lot more fun than pretty much any other 3D Sonic game. Like,
I don't know if it's my favorite 3D Sonic game, but it's up there.
I
you know,
probably might still have Generations above this. But between this and SA2, I might give this the lean.
This does have a lot more content than any other 3D Sonic game.
Oh
That's
yeah.
for sure.
very much so. And I mean, I say it's better than Generations because I'm not really a big fan of narrow hallway style kind of games, and Sonic's physics feel very stiff, and I'm like, I want to feel like I'm playing adventure, and this game really made it feel like I was playing adventure and a bit of boost. But again, it was so free flowing with Sonic's controls. It was nice. And they also kind of also threw in the concept of Sonic Lost World, where you hold the trigger down to go faster.
Yeah,
Do you ever think-
that actually took me a bit of getting used to.
The
I
homing
didn't have a
attack
problem
being-
getting used to it. It was really
The
nice.
homing attack being on a different button other than jump is what threw me off. a while.
it's Unleashed all over again.
Yeah, it's just like
Yeah, but what's
Unleashed.
weird about that is that in Unleashed, it took me way too long to get used to it because it air dashes. But in this game, it's R2 or RT.
Yeah.
But like getting then if you push square, nothing happens. You don't get penalized like you would in Unleashed. So like if you missed an enemy target and you just off you go off the level. Not in this. The lock-on system is actually very good with enemies and obstacles as well.
Well, shoot, the homing attack can go straight up if you're locked onto it.
That's insane.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you're looking at it and then you're close enough and it'll lock on and you'll fucking zip up. It's a Sonic 06 homing attack all over again.
Oh, man. Oh, Jesus.
I mean it
that
does
was
have a
one of the-
delay after you hit the enemy, so I mean, it kind of is a Sonic 06 homing attack.
And it still feels better somehow.
Yeah. It does, man. And in cyberspace, his physics work so well with just like feeling like you feel really light and you're able to make a better decision on where to land versus the do or die situation of the boost games. Like do I take this jump or that jump? Oh fuck! Like what if I change my mind midair? I can still like reverse.
Honestly, the biggest problem I have with his controls in this game is with his air dash. Why does it have a little hop at the start of it? That made me miss so many pinpoint dashes through like obstacles and stuff.
I did have some issues with the air dash too. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah.
Wait, what do you mean? Like when you don't go straight, but you kind of go at an arc a little bit.
Go a little bit up. You'll go a little bit too far upwards and going straight.
So you go up a little bit, then you go straight, right?
Yeah.
I didn't really have any issues with that.
It messed me up a couple of times, especially doing that tower section toward the end of the game.
Yeah, because I'm used to in the other games where it's like you start the boost in the air and it just propels you forward immediately. But this has a little tiny hop at the start of it, and honestly, I don't like it. I don't like that at all.
I never noticed it, and I guess I just got used to it. I thought that's just how it worked, so I was like, okay, I guess I'm gonna do it this way now.
It gave me some issues for sure,
but
unless you guys got anything else to add, I think I said all I need to say.
Yeah, I mean, I think
bring back the Chow Garden.
Yeah, this game actually could have really used something like that.
This game references the Chow Garden. Sonic says, "I wonder if there's any Chow Gardens around here." Probably not due to the extreme weather and stuff.
I was like, "Fuck you." I think the only problems I have with this game are more so their first attempt, rough around the edges moments, because I kind of brought that up earlier with the enemy design where there's a crazy combat system, but the enemies don't really let you combo very much. And I think the biggest issue I have with this game is more so the cyber gates. If you don't have them highlighted on the map, like you haven't filled out the map and they don't show up on your map, they are a pain to find.
Yeah, you have to open up your map and you just and once you reveal some of the map with the challenges, you can finally like see where one is, but it's not highlighted yet to hover over.
But if you're running around blind looking for them, they blend in with the surroundings way too well. I feel like I think they should be glowing or something to indicate that they're what you're looking for.
The Chaos Emeralds have an indicator. They have a light shining up into the sky.
Yeah, but because on the third island was Chaos Island or something.
I hate the third island, the volcano one, right?
Yeah, the volcano one. Yeah, because of that, because I couldn't find the Chaos Gates, I literally spent about 3 hours on that place.
Yeah, some of the Chaos Emeralds were hard to get to on the third island. For sure.
Yeah, because it's separated into a bunch of little different mini islands, but not every end of each island has a rail system to connect them. So you had to run to one end and then run to the other end, and it's just I hate it. It was such bad design on that one.
If I'm gonna
that's the worst world in my opinion. I did not like it.
I think the fifth island was the best one. The last one.
The last one, yeah.
Yeah, because it was straightforward.
And then Chronos Island, I thought was the second best.
Yeah.
Yeah. Then the desert
Ares,
one.
Then Ares,
Yeah.
and then Chaos. I'm not going to
Yeah.
count the fourth one because that's
More of a story-driven island.
Yeah.
I mean, it gives you a really great challenge per tower, but you know,
the
again,
design
being
of
the
the
first
tower is
attempt, there's always
great.
going to be a hiccup.
Yeah, the
those
design of those.
those were besides the final boss. Those were the toughest part for me. Oh, one thing I did want to say: a lot of the mini games, I'm not a fan of.
Nope, me neither. Yeah, I forgot about those. There, no, I had fun with the pinball one, but other than that, nope. They're all garbage.
Are you talking about the map sign mini games or the?
No, I mean like when you have to like bring the Cocos to Amy and Knuckles, and like
those, yeah. Those weren't very. They really fell out of place.
They did. The Knuckles one frustrated me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Wasn't a fan. Never again.
But
all right, but I want to end this on a more positive note. This was I couldn't put the game down, and I haven't had that feeling in a video game for a few years now, actually. So
yeah, I didn't put it down either. That was the only game I was playing like every day.
Mm-hmm.
So even if you're not a Sonic fan, I'd give this a try. I thought it was pretty cool.
Yeah, just ignore the stigma of Sonic, and you have yourself like of the character and his themes, and you have yourself a pretty fucking solid 3D platformer.
Because I was even a bit skeptical going into it because I didn't think they'd show enough to showcase what the game could really be after playing the entire thing. Yeah.
Oh, I knew it was going to be good from the get go. I saw ambition this time.
I've turned into a person who I try not to make judgment beforehand. I just let the game impress or disappoint me on its own merits. So I kind of went into this neutral, and yeah, I want to see the next game improve on this formula, because what they have here, I think you said it earlier, Alex, what they have here is great potential going forward. If they fine tune this, the next game is going to be insanely good.
I think the next game we need to have straight lines, awkward controls, guns, and a female lover to kiss Sonic.
Yeah, we need the Sonic 06 remake mixed with Shadow the Hedgehog elements.
Blended forces gameplay. Let's do this.
And the writing, and also some of the writing from Sonic Lost World.
And guess what, everybody? Infinite's back.
Oh
Hell
no!
yeah! He's not, and he works along with Mephiles in this game too.
Oh my god!
That actually wouldn't be a bad idea, but
no, that would actually be terrible.
Yeah, let's not do that, please.
Yeah, no, that's like fan fiction right there, and I've read enough Sonic fan fiction to kill myself.
Let's bring Chaos back and then have you never fight him.
Yes.
That's a video for another day. Anyway, I'm closing this off. We're going off rail.
All right.
Thank you guys so much for watching. Hope you enjoyed it, and stick around. Take care.
Pingus.